My son, Ethan, was brilliant. Like, scary brilliant. Sometimes I joked that I should have asked for a paternity test because there was no way someone as smart as him could have come from me. That's a joke, obviously. He was my pride and joy. My ex-wife, Laura, and I divorced when Ethan was around 13. She remarried a couple of years later, and I tied the knot with my current wife, Sarah, when Ethan was 17. Despite the changes in our family dynamics, Ethan remained the center of my world. I had set up a registered education savings plan for him when he was little. For those who don't know, it's a Canadian education fund that can be used for post-secondary expenses. I always told Ethan that if he decided not to go to university, I'd use the money to fly to Germany, tour the beer gardens, and drink some of the best brews in the world in his honor. It became a running joke between us. He'd roll his eyes and say, "Sure, Dad, live your dream," knowing full well he was going to university. When Ethan got accepted to the University of Toronto, I was over the moon. We went out for burgers and beers to celebrate his achievement, and to mourn the loss of my imaginary beer pilgrimage. It was one of the best nights of my life. Then, in April, the unthinkable happened. Ethan was hit by a drunk driver while walking home from a study group. He didn't make it. Losing him shattered me. Laura was devastated too, and Sarah has been my rock through it all, holding me together when I felt like I was falling apart. While I was still reeling from the loss, Laura approached me about the resp. She knew Ethan had a scholarship and had planned to use the fund for living expenses and emergencies. She asked if I'd consider giving the money to her stepson, Jake, who's 19 and starting community college this fall. I thought about it. Jake's a good kid, and Laura's husband, Greg, is a decent guy. But Greg had always been clear that he wasn't responsible for Ethan's expenses beyond the basics: food, shelter, that kind of thing. Fair enough, but it also meant I didn't feel obligated to hand over Ethan's fund to Jake. So I told Laura no. I was going to do what I'd always joked about: take the money, go to Germany, and drink beer in Ethan's honor. She called it a waste of thousands of dollars. And yeah, maybe it is. I'll have to return the government portion of the fund, but I don't care. This isn't about logic or responsibility. It's about honoring a promise I made to my son, even if it was just a joke. Laura thinks I'm being selfish and irresponsible. Maybe I am, but I know Ethan would have laughed his ass off if he knew I actually went through with it. And honestly, that's all that matters to me. Was I wrong? What do you think?